I know you're not expecting to see me this early in Victober, but here I am anyway. Hello and welcome back to Bookish and welcome to my TBR, my pile of possibilities for Victober, which I attempt to answer and meet all the challenges presented by the marvelous hosts of Victober, whose names and channels I'll mention in this video and a list down below. Please show respect for these wonderful booktubers who put on this event every single year. So the first book on my list this year is not one which is going to meet one of the challenges, because I'm going to be reading the fifth book in the Chronicles of Barchester, which is The Small House at Arlington. I love Trollope and loving reading this series of books. I read one every year. And this year, it's The Small House at Arlington, which I understand is some people's favorite, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I don't think it meets any of the challenges presented by the hosts of Victober. So I'm just going to be reading that one on my own. The next book, though, does. And I'm going to read The Time Machine. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to read The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I read War of the Worlds a few years ago, and I really liked it. And so I decided to read The Time Machine. And then I noticed that Kate Howe's challenge for Victober was to read a book about a stranger visiting a community. Well, what could be more of a stranger than somebody who's visiting at some point in the future or some point in the past? I'm not sure which. But this book is bound to meet that challenge. The third book I'm going to read is Jill, and this is by, something Amy Dillwyn. I've forgotten the author's name. But this book was suggested by the wonderful Katie over at Books and Things as a book to read for her challenge, to read a book about the new woman, this kind of emerging period of this idea of the new woman at the end of the Victorian period, which is kind of like proto-feminist, I suppose, in some way. So I was really interested in that topic, and I decided that I would read Jill as a part of this challenge and meet Katie's challenge there. The third book on my list is Olive by, another challenging name, Dinah Craik. Yes, I got it. Dinah Craik wrote Olive, which I believe is about a young woman who has to grow up and learn how to live a life dealing with a deformity. She overcomes! Hopefully, I think she does, in the book. Anyway, this is to meet Marissa at Blatantly Bookish's challenge to read a book by a new-to-us Victorian author, and I've never read anything by Dinah Craik, so this book will fulfill that challenge. The next book on my list of Victober TBR possibilities is The Unclass by George Gissing. George Gissing's my boy! George Gissing, my new favorite Victorian author. Really like The Odd Women. Really loved New Grub Street last year. This year I'm going to read The Unclassed to meet Roz's challenge to read a Victorian classic that's about the subject of class. I feel like I'm on safe ground here in saying that The Unclassed is about social class. But, George Gissing writes about that a lot, so I think I'm pretty safe. And then the last challenge was offered by Petra over at the channel PetraU, and her challenge was to read a Victorian classic that's written as a first-person narrative. Now, I have to be honest with you, I don't know if any of the stories in the next book I'm going to mention are written as first-person, but I hope at least one is, so it qualifies, because I'm going to read Elizabeth Gaskell's Ghost Stories. Ooh, scary ghost stories. Since it's October, we'll be getting it out around Halloween, and hopefully at least one of those is told in the style of a first-person narration. The best ghost stories are always from personal experience. There you go! There's my pile of possibilities, my TBR for Victober. Let me know what you think about my selections. Let me know if I'm right about Elizabeth Gaskell's ghost stories. I look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching. Yes!